So, a very good morning to everybody. I hope all of you can see and hear me clearly. Is the audio and the video clear enough? I think things are all fine. So, we begin another session. All of us know that at this particular time at 10 o'clock, 6 days a week, we meet to discuss different types of passages. We meet to solve questions. So far, in the last 15-20 days, roughly the last month, we have started solving questions from different exams, and that is for a very specific purpose. As the exam draws closer, we should be prepared for the challenges. We should be up to the challenges which we are going to face in the exam. So that is why every day I pick questions from different exams. IFT, ZAT, to a certain extent CAT also, and we discuss difficult types of questions which might come in the exam. Now, you will also notice that I think there is everybody. So, welcome to the session. Is the audio fine? I hope things are fine now. Right. So, before we begin with anything else, let me quickly show you the schedule of the entire week. This is the entire week schedule, and you can see that this is something which we do every day, right? And let me begin with this question. First, try out this question, then let's see how things work out. Morning, everybody. Can everybody quickly confirm there was a slight, I suspect there was a slight issue with the audio in the beginning. Can everybody quickly confirm if the audio is fine? If everything is fine? Okay. Vicky has even given the answer. Vaibhav, how to improve speaking? देखो, Vaibhav, if you look at speaking is a different skill altogether. And exam में इसका test बिल्कुल नहीं होता. The exams that you're preparing for, MBA entrance exams, उसमें what happens is, uh, you simply have to write, you have to read and write properly, right? But speaking, the best practice is basically by practicing. I mean, speak, you have to use the language. Okay, right? So first question ka answer everybody has started giving. I think everybody is saying the answer is B, right? So the answer is B, correct, right? Everybody is confirming the answer is B, A, B, C, right? Now, I told you this is a question from IFT 2021, and I have already discussed with you many times earlier. Yesterday also we discussed, when it comes to solving parajumbles, do not begin from the answer options. Answer options से शुरू मत करो. Read the sentences. For example, यहाँ sentence पढ़ने के बाद, if you notice, sentence B, hands have always been used in cave paintings, right? Sculptures are symbols of communication. Now, how is it used? The answer is given in A, right? And by the way, ancient Egyptian and Semitic art, for example, this word tells me that the example D is an example of the point that was given in A, which was introduced in B, right? So B, A, D, C should be the answer, right? Okay. Frankie, can we do type in the answers? वो भी मैं करूँगा. In fact, I will make it, I will show it with you and discuss it with you. Right? दिन में एक दो करेंगे. First, I would like all of you to be familiar with parajumbles with options first. अगर इसके साथ familiar हो, then we will move on to parajumbles without options. ठीक है? So in this session we will take it up. Don't worry, आगे जाके करेंगे. We will definitely do it, right? So this is a passage from IFT 2000. This is a question from IFT 2021, right? Now, before looking at the main passage, let's try to solve this question also. You can see, okay, so we are a little bit, cramped for space, but then you can see I have used color coding to demarcate the passage, the question and the answer options, right? It is always advisable to have all of it in one screen. अनअवॉइडेबल होगा तो करेंगे, अदरवाइज आंसर ऑप्शंस और पैसेज में जो कनेक्शन है वो लॉस्ट हो जाता है, राइट? एंड व्हाई आर वी डूइंग दीज क्वेश्चंस? फॉर अ वेरी सिंपल रीजन. This kind of a question is like a warm up to solving passages. If you are able to answer these questions, right, it means that you are good in comprehension skills. Okay, Aman, if you are asking me about where I live currently, I live in NCR, right? Recently I shifted to Faridabad. Earlier, for around more than 15 years, around 15 years, I was in Delhi, right? But my birthplace, I was born in Imphal, Manipur, right? Otherwise, for the last 2 years, because of COVID, I had also gone back home, right, as into to my hometown, like many people. Now I am back in NCR. So try this question, right? And what does the question say? Which of the following can best help to reduce these negative consequences among the students in a business school? So short questions like this are a precursor to passages, right? वैष्णवी, omniscience का मतलब क्या होता है? Omni means everything, all, and this word scient, it means to know, right? So omniscience means knowing everything. For example, omniscience, omnipotence, and omnipresence are taken. These three things are taken as qualities of God for those who believe in God. Okay, everybody saying A. Illustrations of real life problems in classrooms. Okay. Everybody saying A. Is there a better answer? Is there a better answer? Almost everybody is saying the answer is A. Is there a better answer? What do you think? Okay, so some are saying D, some are saying A, right? Okay, what about E? Sita Kumari E. Acha. If you notice, what is the problem that is given in the passage? If you look at it, the best answer to this question is D. Why? Let me quickly tell you. Eliminate करके भी कर सकते हैं. देखो, the problem is, देखो, the first consequence is theoretically knowledgeable graduates who cannot apply theory to solve real world problems. So the problem is not with theory. It is not that theory चाहिए ही नहीं, right? It is that they cannot apply theory to real world problems. ठीक है? This is the primary issue. Now the second problem, that is omniscience, मतलब feeling that I know everything, इसलिए आगे ना learn कर पाना, that problem is not addressed anywhere. Now if you look at A, use illustrations of real life problems in classrooms. This यहाँ पे issue क्या है? That means what about theory? Does the author say that theory बेकार है, theory करना ही नहीं चाहिए? So this is silent as far as theory is concerned, right? So the best answer is D. Modify the pedagogy to have knowledge of theory and application in parallel. So the problem is that they have theory but cannot apply, right? So the problem is not in theory per se, but inability to apply theory in practicals. So that means you should have a mix of both. So the best answer is D. ठीक है? Everybody got the point, I hope. For the same purpose, E is also wrong, right? I mean, theory ऐसा नहीं कि theory बेकार है, right? Theory might be helpful, but we should be able to apply it in the real world, right? So the key is this, if you notice, and you will notice one thing: the passage. When you look at this passage, the second problem is not at all given in any of the answer options, right? Everybody understood this, I hope. Yes. Okay, Aman asking me pedagogy क्या होता है? What is pedagogy? Pedagogy comes from the word ped, which means children in Latin, right? And gog is to excite. In short, it comes from the word pedagogue, who is a school, which means a school teacher. Pedagogy is the method or the science or the way in which you teach. ठीक है? All got the point, I hope. Everybody understood? Yes. Okay, so shall we begin the main passage now? Yes, let's begin the main passage. The main passage that I have taken today is taken from a certain blog, right? Foils.uk, right? In any case, I have always been telling you that passages cat or zat में खास करके cat में the passages which you are likely to come across, they are mostly taken from foreign sources. Can anybody tell me why do they why do these people, why do the people who make questions, why do they source their passages from foreign articles, foreign publications, या foreign writings by things which are not Indian? क्या reason है? Reason being if you take writings of Indians, right, number one, chances are पहले किसी ने पढ़ लिया हो, possible. एक जमाने में they used to ask, कैट 2003 में 2003-4 उससे पहले आते थे, but they seem to have realized that if you pick passages from Indian sources, chances are किसी ने पहले पढ़ लिया. अगर किसी ने पहले पढ़ लिया, it would have unfair advantage. Number one. Number two, passages which are written by Indians are easier. So that for that reason, they pick a lot of articles taken from different sources, right? And this is the source you can see, and it was asked in JAT 2021. ठीक है, right? Okay, Nikita, omniscience क्या होता है? Root पे जाओ. Omni means everything, all, everything. And the second word, science, is what you have in the word science. What is science? Systematic form of knowledge is science, right? So omniscience means knowing everything. So if you are omniscient, it means you know everything. Possible नहीं है, लेकिन लगता है लोगों को. देखो फ्रैंकली, एडिटोरियल पढ़ने का क्या फायदा? एडिटोरियल पढ़ना किसका चाहिए? एडिटोरियल फॉरेन न्यूज़पेपर्स, फॉरेन आर्टिकल्स, राइट, फॉरेन मैगजीन्स का पढ़ो. दैट इज व्हाई आई ऑलवेज कीप ऑन टेलिंग यू, रीड एडिटोरियल आर्टिकल्स ऑफ गार्डियन. यहां से बहुत पूछते हैं, राइट. रीड आर्टिकल्स फ्रॉम द न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स, रीड आर्टिकल्स फ्रॉम द वॉशिंगटन पोस्ट, right? बहुत मैं I always keep on telling you, read articles from from magazines like the BBC, right? Read articles from the magazines like the National Geo. ये बार बार बोलता रहता हूँ, I keep on telling you this, ठीक है. एंड फ्रैंकी एक चीज और भी है, एडिटोरियल अगर मैं इंडियन एडिटोरियल्स पढ़े, राइट, कैट को छोड़ के बाकी एग्जाम्स में पूछते हैं. दूसरा, फर्स्ट थिंग इज दिस. दूसरा, लैंग्वेज सीखने के लिए वो ठीक है, बिकॉज स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट कहीं इजी से तो शुरू कर सकते हैं. सो दैट इज ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ गुड स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट. सो लुक एट ऑल दी आर्टिकल सोर्सेज व्हिच आई एम राइटिंग डाउन, बीबीसी, नेट जियो, राइट, इवन द मैगजीन्स लाइक द इयॉन एक मैगजीन है, राइट. देन मैगजीन्स लाइक इवन द इकोनॉमिस्ट. These are all magazines that you can refer to. Even magazines like there is a magazine called the Scientific American. You can read from all these, you can read from all these sources. ठीक है, right? So everybody understood, I hope. So अगर एक चीज है, what the Frankie is asking has a point. Editorial Indian newspapers का क्यों पढ़े? दो रीजन है. नंबर वन, easier है तो उससे शुरू करो, right? And secondly, Indian newspapers हम we read it for news, right? Second round में when I have the writing interview or group discussion round, उसमें वो काम आएगा, right? So starting point के लिए Indian newspaper से शुरू करो. Then as you become more familiar, move on to these newspapers. ठीक है? Everybody is clear with this, I hope. Yes. अच्छा, I hope everybody is reading the passage also. Right. What is chroniclers? Chroniclers are nothing else but people who write down history. So what is the passage about? I hope everybody has read it. He's telling you, right? He's telling you, what is he telling you? He's telling you that most of human history is about men, right? women तो बिल्कुल mentioned ही नहीं है, and this is one big data gap. This is what he means by data gap. Everybody's read it? Okay, चलो, let's move on to the next slide. ठीक है, everybody understood, I think. So wherever you see all the records, all the data that is available, उसमें it is all about men. किसी भी field में, be it movies, be it history, be it anything, it is always about men. ठीक है, it women are almost like बिल्कुल है ही नहीं. ठीक है, so the gender data gap isn't just about silence, right? Now she's saying it does not limit to this. There are consequences. What are the consequences? They impact women. They impact on women's lives every day. What are they? Let's see. Right. In this passage, you will see, okay, Sita Kumari shivering basically means, shaking, the body shaking because of cold. Shivering, when you feel cold, you, sorry. Shivering is nothing else but because of cold, the body shivering. If you notice, in this passage, in this paragraph, you will see the author being very sarcastic also. पढ़ के देखो, you will be able to understand, right? Data gap की वजह से Nikita atypical basically means, symptoms are deemed atypical, meaning different from the norms. ठीक है, so symptoms of, for example, heart attack के कुछ symptoms होते हैं normal, atypical would be वो नहीं, symptoms कुछ और, right? Atypical मतलब not typical, not according to the norms. Okay, what is he doing here? Let me just ask you. Everybody has read it, but let me just ask you. He is telling you that it impacts women's lives, and he says that the impact can be relatively minor. Right after having read this, do you think that he really means this, or is he using sarcasm? Can everybody answer? Problems faced by women, right? Does he really believe that it is relatively minor? Is it minor anymore, right? Or is he sarcastic? Everybody please reply. I will wait for your responses. I know that your responses take some time to reach me, but I will wait because this is a very important aspect. He says, ज़्यादा कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, right? He is using sarcasm. Rashmi, correct? He is using sarcasm. Right, the impact is not minor. He gives you example. देखो, AC की temperature, because of being set to male levels, sometimes it can be irritating, right? Even reaching top shelf is also sarcasm, frankly. Not just minor, irritating minor, right? But देखो, not life threatening. Does he really mean this? No. आगे देखो, look at this. Crashing in a car whose safety measures do not account for women's measurements. He is giving you an example. कार के जो safety measurements है, they are made according to men's requirements. So it does not fit a woman. So is it just irritating anymore, right? Is it not life threatening? So this is what he means to highlight it by using sarcasm. ठीक है, he is using it like sarcasm. And even देखो, when women have a heart attack, it is undiagnosed because the symptoms of women heart attacks are different from men's heart attacks. And doctors के पास सारे symptoms, whatever they have read, इन्होंने जो पढ़ा है, it is all men's symptoms. ठीक है, for these women, the consequences of living in a world built around male data can be deadly. So we need to understand what the author wants to say. He might say, ये तो कुछ नहीं है, but ये तो कुछ नहीं है sarcastic tone में कह रहा है. आगे जाके बताता तो है कि sometimes it can be very dangerous, like crashing in a car which is designed according to male requirements, right? या फिर doctor treating you and looking for male symptoms. right? So you will never be diagnosed. So this is the big danger. Everybody understood, I hope. All clear, right? So he is saying that it is not just minor or irritating, it is life threatening, but he does it by using sarcasm. ठीक है? All clear, I hope. सबको समझ में आया? ठीक है? Right. So this is what I was telling you. We should be able to understand sarcasm. If you do not understand sarcasm, you will not be able to understand what the author is saying. Then he tells you about, so the effects are deadly. The effects can be very, not just irritating, the effects can be very difficult. Samir Pal is saying articles from foreign newspapers which came in the past, cats are in the past. If you notice, last 15-20 days से मैं वही कर रहा हूँ. If you read, right, if you go back and watch all the YouTube classes which I've taken, right, at the same time, yesterday also I took passages from Zat, right. उससे पहले I used to take passages taken from cat, right. So ये मैंने I started this around a month ago because not just articles, questions भी तो होने चाहिए. ठीक है, राइट. ओके, नाउ व्हाट हैव यू रेड हियर? ओके, अभी तक व्हाट हैव यू रेड? राइट, सी एवरीथिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन, entire collection of data is based on men's data. Women are silent. This has a very deadly impact. Now he is telling you the cause of this data gap. The cause of this data gap. Malicious means having a bad intention to harm somebody. Bad intentions for somebody is called malice. ठीक है? With malice in my heart, मतलब if you have bad feelings, intention to cause harm to somebody, that is called malice. ठीक है? So what is he saying? He is saying that this gender data gap is not malicious or deliberate. ये जानबूझ के नहीं हुआ है. So this is the important thing. So इससे क्या होता है? हम करते हैं, हम bias होते हैं without knowing it. So that is what is telling you. ठीक है? It is simply the product of a way of thinking that has been around for thousands of years, and therefore it's a kind of not thinking. We are not aware of it, but we do it every time. So this is what is important, right? So it makes it all the more dangerous. अगर किसी को अवेयर नहीं है कि मैं गलती कर रहा हूं तो वो सुधरेगा है ही नहीं सबसे पहले. सो जेंडर बायस, बिकॉज ऑफ विच जेंडर डेटा गैप is not deliberate. It is ingrained in our way of thinking from thousands of years. ठीक है? Right. So a double not thinking, even men go without saying and women do not get said at all. So this is what he means by this. Because when we say human on the whole, we mean human. So he is highlighting, because this, it's almost like nobody does it intentionally. It is just the way you think. Right. We are not even aware of it. हम सब करते हैं ये गलती, लेकिन we are not aware of it. Yes, Aditya, here he is not sarcastic. He is telling you the real reason. Right. We can know from his seriousness of his style here. He is completely, he is saying here, because when we say human on the whole, we mean man. Right. Here he might be attacking the policy, but he is not sarcastic. ठीक है? He is attacking the policy that when we say human we mean men, right? Women तो बिल्कुल silent है, उसके बारे में हम सोचते भी नहीं. So in a way, what is he telling you? He is telling you that this gender data gap, gender bias is not intentional. It is because of the way we are taught. It is because of the way we have been thinking for the last so many thousand years. ठीक है? All clear, I hope. Okay, right. Now this is the last slide, and be very careful. This is not the new observation. Understand what is not a new observation? पहले वाला idea. कौन सा observation? The observation that जब हम gender bias या gender data gap create करते हैं, it is not intentional. It is because of thousands of years of thinking. Right. So that is the case. Correct. So Aman, so when we say human, we think man. So women to in fact it's almost like हम everybody does it. So this ये गलत है, लेकिन हमें पता ही नहीं कि हम ये करते हैं. right? So he is, in fact, this is okay. सीता कुमारी, देखो ये सिमन दी बुवा, ये किसी का नाम है. शी वॉज वन ऑफ द, वन ऑफ द, मतलब फेमिनिस्ट, मूवमेंट के बिगिनिंग है, राइट? सो इट्स अ पर्सन, राइट? सो इट्स नेम ऑफ अ पर्सन. देखो ये देखो, शी रोट, ये शी कौन है? यही है, नाम है. ठीक है, राइट? सो व्हाट इज नॉट द न्यू ऑब्जर्वेशन? इट इज नॉट द न्यू ऑब्जर्वेशन दैट जेंडर गैप जो है वो अनइंटेंशनल है, राइट? सो ये ऑलरेडी सिमन दी बोवा ने पहले कह चुकी है. व्हाट इज इट सेड? ह्यूमैनिटी इज मेल एंड मैन डिफाइंस वुमन नॉट इन हरसेल्फ पर एज रिलेटिव टू हिम. रेफरेंस पॉइंट मैन है, उसके हिसाब से वुमन डिफाइन होता है. वुमन इंडिपेंडेंट नहीं है, वुमन इज डिफाइंड विद रेफरेंस टू मैन. सो दैट मीन्स सेंटर पॉइंट इज ऑलवेज मैन. ठीक है, राइट? सो he is the subject, he is the absolute and she is the other, right? So ये तो सबको पता है. Now from here to here, what the author is saying is there is a new change. इसका effect जो है, what is new, right? So okay, आदित्य कुमार एक मिनट देखो. When you say thrall means this dependency. देखो, in thrall to big data, that basically means you are in awe and you are in a way dependent on big data. So what is he saying? Problem ये नहीं है. What is new is that everything in the world is according to data, right? Everything that we see, big data, big truths, big algorithm, big computers. But the problem is that this data is all corrupted by big silences. क्यों? बिकॉज जो हमने डेटा कलेक्ट किया उसमें वुमेन तो मेंशन ही नहीं है. सो वट एवर ट्रूथ्स दैट यू हैव इन दिस वर्ल्ड इज ओनली हाफ ट्रूथ. Getting the point? So he is saying everything is recorded, every data is in the form of male oriented. So when you do algorithm big data use करके, when you do number crunching and arrive at truths, it is not the truth, it is half the truth, because उस डेटा में वुमन का तो मेंशन है ही नहीं. ठीक है? So if you notice, and often for women they are not true at all. So all the things that we see around us as a result of number crunching, data crunching, ये true नहीं है, because raw material is all based on men oriented data. And as computer scientists themselves says, garbage in, garbage out. What does it mean? It means you are replacing गार्बेज इन गार्बेज आउट, मतलब किसी खराब चीज को निकाल के खराब चीज से रिप्लेस कर दिया, मतलब नो इम्प्रूवमेंट एट ऑल. ठीक है? एवरीबॉडी हैज रेड इट, आई होप all clear. So this is a very interesting passage, and if you notice, the style of writing is very interesting. ठीक है? Right. So let's see the questions. Which based on the passage, which of the following statements best explains absent presence? Right. Now if you remember, absent presence जो है, it was explained here. ठीक है? It was explained here. Just take 20 seconds, right, and you will understand it here very clearly. The stories we tell, okay, so our culture is riddled with them. These silences are everywhere. कौन से silence? We do not speak about women. ठीक है? So it is there everywhere. News, literature, science, city planning, economics. It is all about male oriented. So they are all marked by a female shaped absence presence. So this is what he means by absent presence. ठीक है? Everybody has read it, I hope. Now if you read it, you should be able to answer it correctly. Now what I'm doing right now, ये एग्जाम में भी करना चाहिए, right? अगर मुझे 100% कंफर्म नहीं है तो उस रेलेवेंट पार्ट को दोबारा पढ़ने में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. दैट इज व्हाट आई एनकरेज. ठीक है? इट विल टेक यू 20 सेकेंड्स एक्स्ट्रा. पूरा पैसेज नहीं पढ़ना है, उस रेलेवेंट पार्ट को पढ़ना है. इट विल टेक यू 20 सेकेंड्स एक्स्ट्रा. इट विल कॉस्ट यू 20 एक्स्ट्रा सेकेंड्स, बट accuracy इससे बहुत increase होता है. And number 2, when you answer the questions, eliminate. These are things which we have been practically doing in the last 15-20 days since I've started taking questions. That is what we have been doing so far. ठीक है? Right, let's see what is the best answer. Best answer. Okay, here I'll tell you the ways to eliminate. The presence is felt due to the specificity. द प्रेजेंस इज फेल्ट ड्यू टू एब्सेंस बोल सकते हैं. स्पेसिफिसिटी मतलब सर्टेन फीचर, सर्टेन नेचर. इज इट अ स्पेशल काइंड ऑफ एब्सेंस? नो. सो स्पेसिफिसिटी की वजह से आई हैव एलिमिनेटेड ए. द एब्सेंस मेक द केस फॉर द नीड फॉर प्रेजेंस. अच्छा, केस फॉर द नीड, क्या प्रेजेंस रिक्वायर्ड है या सिंपली इतना साइलेंट है कि इट्स अपरेंट, इतना डार्क है कि साफ साफ दिख रहा है. इट्स ऑलमोस्ट लाइक दैट. सो बेस्ट आंसर इज सी. by its sheer absence it is by its sheer absence it is present. Best answer is C. Because D में क्या प्रॉब्लम है? Because of the absence one can recognize. इससे बेटर C है. राइट. कंप्लीटली एब्सेंट है इसलिए साफ साफ दिख रहा है. राइट. सो द की वर्ड हियर इज sheer. Sheer means absolute. राइट. सो बेटर आंसर इज सी. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग हियर? कंप्लीटली एब्सेंट है इसलिए प्रेजेंट जैसा है. राइट. अगर एक चीज बिल्कुल ही एब्सेंट हो तो उसके जो कमी है दैट विल बी विजिबल. सो द की वर्ड हियर इज sheer. ठीक है. सो what is the meaning of the word sheer? Sheer means absolute. Right. So by sheer willpower I was able to win the contest. मतलब by using just willpower, by using absolute, that is what it means. ठीक है. Right. Now best answer is C. Okay, one of you saying elaborate option B. Option B में देखो, the absence makes the case for the need of presence. Makes the case for the need मतलब it makes it, the absence makes the case. Makes the case मतलब it makes it logical to look for the need. Do you look for the need of the presence? No. Make a case for something matlab make it more logical. Does the absence make it logical to search for the need of the presence? No. ये कुछ ज़्यादा ही roundabout है. What is happening here is, if you notice, right? Do you understand now what is happening here is? What is happening here is 100% silent है, इसलिए दिख रहा है. ठीक है. सो द की वर्ड हियर इज सी. Nikita, C and D are not the same. C is more pronounced. देखो, because of the presence one can recognize, because of the absence one can recognize its presence. देखो, सिर्फ recognize. देखो, एक चीज इसमें ये नहीं दिख रहा, absence, total absence. What is required is something to say total absence. पार्शियल नहीं, टोटल एब्सेंस. सो टोटल एब्सेंस का मीनिंग जो है इज व्हाट यू फाइंड इन शेयर एब्सेंस. सो सी इज अ बेटर आंसर देन डी. ठीक है. अंडरस्टूड. सो डी से बेटर आंसर सी है. टोटल एब्सेंस चाहिए हमें. ठीक है. एवरीबॉडी गॉट द पॉइंट? आई होप. अंडरस्टूड. ओके. शैल वी लुक एट द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन? ऑल क्लियर? सो ये दिस इज बेसिकली प्लेइंग विद वर्ड्स. ऐसे क्लोज ऑप्शंस जो है वो जैप में होता है. इट इज देयर इन it is there in cat also. ठीक है. एक ऑप्शन तो मैंने यहाँ रिमूव कर दिया, डोंट वरी, राइट, बिकॉज इट वाज नॉट रेलेवेंट एज सच. ठीक है. राइट. दिस इज द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. शुभराज, सी वाज स्ट्रॉन्गर इन लैंग्वेज, दैट इज व्हाई इट वाज द आंसर, बिकॉज यहाँ पे 100% एब्सेंस की वजह से दिख रहा है वो. ठीक है. सो वहां स्ट्रेंथ की रिक्वायरमेंट है. ठीक है. क्लियर? आई होप. ओके. डबल नॉट थिंकिंग. व्हाट इज डबल नॉट थिंकिंग? इसके लिए भी आई हैव टू शो यू द रेलेवेंट पार्ट. व्हाट इज डबल नॉट थिंकिंग? इट इज गिवन हियर. ठीक है. जस्ट आई हैव टू शो यू. ओके. इट इज हियर. A way of thinking that has been around for millennia and therefore is not a kind of thinking. A double not thinking even, right? This is the part which you have to, which have to be relevant. ठीक है. This is the relevant part. I hope you're reading it, right? Once you have read it, then we will come to the answers. ठीक है. So double not thinking का मीनिंग जो है दैट इज व्हाट इज द केस हियर. उसमें a great role would be played by your knowledge of punctuation. Punctuation का use हो. I'll tell you, right? I'll explain that also. But first, let's try the answer. What is double not thinking? Is it allowed not to think? Nahi, nahi, nahi. You did not read it. Rashmi and Sita, I think you did not read it carefully. Is it about allowed to think? Nahi, वो नहीं. It is about हम जब सोचते हैं, right, human beings के बारे में, तो क्या जब हम कुछ करते हैं, right, गलत, उसके बारे में सोच के नहीं करते. It is that thinking. So most people are getting it wrong. Most people are getting it wrong. Most people are getting it wrong. I am a little bit concerned. Okay, only one person has got it correct so far. अभी तक दो हो गया. Two people have got it correct. Right. Uh, Three people, Garvit, Aditya Kumar, and Himanshu have got it correct so far. Funny also gets it correct. Nikita also got it correct. The answer is D. Whenever humans are mentioned, it is men. Further, women are not mentioned. The answer is this. Right. This is like double not thinking. That is what he means by this. देखो, इसका I'll show you. इधर देखो. Double not thinking even. What is the use of this colon? Colon explains. Colon के बाद जो भी आता है, right? It explains. Suppose if I say I am just asking you, I am giving you a question. I am giving you an example. I was asked to leave. इसके बाद अगर मैं colon use करके colon I was late. Tell me what is this I was late? This is an explanation or a reason. कोलन का यही रोल होता है, राइट. सो डबल नॉट थिंकिंग इज एक्सप्लेन्ड हियर. मेन गो विदाउट सेइंग एंड वुमेन डू नॉट गेट सेड एट ऑल. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड नाउ? राइट. सो कोलन का यूज क्या होता है? राइट. आई वाज आस्क्ड टू लीव, कोलन आई वाज लेट. So the second part is an explanation or the reason. So this is explained very clearly here, right? And if you read that, most of you will get the answer D. Is this clear? सबको समझ में आया? Everybody understood this? So all these things, अभी जो मैंने I just gave you that colon वाला use. This is something which comes naturally to somebody who reads often. ठीक है? Everybody understood this? I hope. Shall we move on to the next slide? All clear, I hope. Okay. All clear है? Last slide. This is the last question. Let's see. Which of the following statements can be best concluded from the passage? Be very careful, right? And I always keep on telling you something जो हमेशा मैं हर सेशन में कहता हूँ. That is something which is partially correct cannot be correct. ठीक है? Even if you find one word which is wrong, that is enough to tell you that अच्छा ये तो गलत है. ठीक है? यहाँ भी अप्लाई करो. Okay, so people are saying best answer. Choose the best answer. Choose the best answer. With each option, I will find the problem. With each option, I will definitely find the problem. Okay, now, okay. Best answer is E. Those of you who mark E, let me tell you the best answer is E. अच्छा, एक एक करके eliminate करते हैं. Problem with A is women have never been treated as distinct identities. ये सही है, right? Gender data gap ये भी सही है, but is it the cause? What is the cause of the gender data gap according to the author? What is the cause of the gender data gap? Gender data gap का जो cause है is given here, right? इधर देखो. The gender data gap is not generally malicious or even deliberate. It is simply the product of a way of thinking, right? And therefore is a, so it's a product of a way of thinking. So if you read this carefully, men, women have never been treated as distinct identities. Is this the cause of the gender data gap? So I have problems with this word cause. So eliminated A. Now, if you eliminate A, you will also be able to eliminate D, because men ignored women, which resulted in the gender data gap. Ignore जानबूझ के किया जाता है. ये this is something which is happening without you even knowing it. समझ में आ रहा है? So I have eliminated A and D because of the part which I read, right? So it is because of a way of thinking, or we are brought up in this, so हमें पता भी नहीं चलता कि हम कर रहे हैं, right? So अगर हमें पता नहीं चल रहा तो ignore is a strong word, right? Best answer is emphasis on database decision making can be devastating to women given the gender data gap. So that is what he was saying in the last part. Every decision is made on the basis of data, और data में सिर्फ men का collected होता है. That is why it is devastating. ठीक है, I have eliminated A and D, right? Now what is the problem with C? The gender data gap is amplified. Is it amplified by database decision making? No, database decision making causes problems for women, right? But डेटा गैप की वजह से, या डेटा गैप does not, is not increased because of decision making. देखो, if you notice, decision making is based on data, right? So data itself cannot be made bigger by decision making. ठीक है, are you getting the point? C is also wrong. Everybody understood? I think nobody marked C, but still data gap की वजह से decision making में problem हो रहा है. So can you say that it is data gap is amplified by decision making? No, order गलत है. ठीक है, right? Now what about B? B, the need of the R is to revisit the past and reduce. ये तो the author never suggests solutions. He is saying कुछ गलत हो रहा है, right? Data collection जो है उसमें half data है because it is only about women. So revisit the past कैसे करोगे, right? Reduce the gender data gap at the earliest. This is like too far-fetched. ठीक है, right? So options are tricky. ठीक है, so with that we come to the end of the passage. I hope everybody understood, right? So this is what we will do every day, right? So from every day, right, we will do this, right? And all of you know that generally when I meet every day I will pick up passages like this, right? So all clear, I hope, right? So Vicky, how can we revisit the past? हाँ, ये वो थोड़ा सा extreme option है, ठीक है? Everybody is clear? So all of you know the timings of the session, this session which I take, right? We meet every day at 11. We meet every day at 10 o'clock. So the sessions timings of the class सबको पता है, I hope, 10 a.m. and it is there every day except Tuesdays. I will have it on Mondays also. Tuesdays को नहीं होगा, so you can meet and discuss. ठीक है, right? So with that we come to the end of the session, and before we end, let me quickly give you some information. You can attend this session. It's going to be live on YouTube at 11 o'clock, right? 26th September from, and it is a strategy as to how do you prepare for CAT. ठीक है, so time management study plan, you can definitely think of this, right? And these are the courses. There is a 2-month crash course. If anybody is willing to join, you can think of joining here, right? And there is this all India open, mock. It will be live from 28th to 4th of October, and this will be a very good preparation for actual CAT. ठीक है, and these are the teachers who take your classes. And very importantly, do not forget to share this session, spread the word around, right? I would like many people to be benefited from this session, so spread the word around, tell your friends, share, like the session as far as possible, because what I do here is very relevant for the exam. So all of you would have noticed the last 20 days we have started taking up passages and questions from different exams. So that is what is the case, right? Okay, so Mohsin is saying, can we take RCs on philosophy? हर topic पे लेंगे. We will take RCs from every topic. So CAT से भी I'll take passages from CAT also, and then we will proceed. ठीक है, so that is it for today. I'll meet you again tomorrow, same time, with another passage, another set of questions, right? So that's it. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice day. I will see you again tomorrow at the same time on the same platform.